Okay, so let's get straight into it. This is the style that we're going to be attempting today, and I ate that. It's not exactly the same, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So first we're going to go in with the parting. Of course, you want to start the back with knotless braids, at least one row. You could do two if you feel like that's easier. I just did one row of knotless. They're all not this small. I think it's just like 4 braids in the back because you don't want the cornrow to be eating up the back of your neck. It would be different if it was just for like some wig braids, but you're adding hair to that, and it's very uncomfortable. So make sure that you do at least one row of knotless braids before you even look at parting anything else. Once you're done with that, you're going to go in and you're going to start parting the front of your head. So the girl who I was basing my braids off of, her braids are very like curved and angular to the side. And I honestly prefer to braid like that on myself because it's easier to me. The parting isn't always easy, but it's easier for me to braid at an angle than it is for me to braid straight back, if that makes sense. So when you're doing these angle parts, you want to, of course, go in with the rat tail comb. You got to use a rat tail comb. You can't be using no thick comb for this. You need that precision. So you go in with the comb, you go in at an angle, and you just try to go in and part that thing as accurate as you can. Take your time because parting your own head is very hard, especially when you have a moving scalp like me, because I don't know if y'all can tell, but my scalp moves, so I'm always going back and forth to see what can be changed or whatever. And this is me doing just like fake braids, just pre-parting my hair and braiding my hair so it's out the way. I don't really recommend doing this unless you have time because I just it just got on my nerves. But anyways, you're going to go in and you're just going to keep trying to get that part right. And then you're going to either pre-part your hair like I did if you really have the time to do that, or you can just start braiding your hair. So again, you're just going to take your time. Don't rush it. If you're just going braid by braid, which I honestly recommend, I wish I would have did it that way. If you got to redo that braid, you got to redo that braid. I done redid these braids while I was doing my hair so many times because if I don't like it, I'm taking it out because then I'm going to hate it when it's time for me to actually be done with my hair. So I'm just going to keep going and parting my hair along with the curve that I already created from the first braid. And also, if you have to keep looking at your reference picture or your reference video, keep playing the video, pausing the video, rewinding the video, or going back looking at the picture, whether it be Pinterest or TikTok, because I feel like sometimes you forget. Like, you know what you're going for, but sometimes you just braid it and you're like, oh, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And when it comes to trying to do more intricate parts, like this isn't super intricate, but just trying to, make sure that they're crisp and precise, I kind of just base my next parting and my next braid off of the first one that I did. It makes it easier for me because it helps me map out what the next one is going to look like, especially if I'm basing it off of the girl's braid pattern, because I was looking at the way that the first 4 braids were on each side, like the sides of her head. All of those braids were curved and some of them were like kind of in triangles, so I just kind of tried to follow that same pattern. Now, as you get deeper into your head, of course, you're going to start hitting the part, so you need to look at the actual back of your head. So I recommend getting a 3-way mirror or just having a mirror behind you while you're doing this because it just makes it so much easier. This braid is not perfect because it was a mock braid, but as you're parting the back of your head, you need to be going in a C motion, a circle motion. You don't need to be going like straight back, because that was my struggle when I first started parting my hair, because I was just going straight back all the way down. And technically you are going backwards, but once you get towards your ear, you want to start curving your part so it follows the natural direction of your head. And I don't mean like a dramatic curve. You don't need to be doing like a big old circle. It's just like sometimes I felt like when I was just parting all the way straight back, I was parting kind of diagonal. So just try to make sure that you're going with the natural curve of your head instead of just trying to just go straight and it'll take you left and right. We need to go straight down with the curve. And make sure you have clips, whether they be like these type of clips or duck clips, whatever you can use to like pin away your hair away from your braids or away from the part that you just made, so you're not accidentally pulling hair into that, because it's just inevitable. It's all that hair on your head, and it's like when you're trying to braid it, sometimes little pieces of the other part can get in there, and then it messes up the clean part that you just did. Because I was trying to originally go based off the picture I found, I was going with the curved parts in the middle too, but I did not end up doing that because I was able to get it down and it was actually pretty good, but I just didn't feel like putting all that effort into it and doing all the extra braids that it took, because like I said, it took me forever to pre-part my hair. So by the time it was time for me to braid, I was just over it, and I was like, yeah, no, we got to change this design. So once I was done pre-parting my hair for the most part, I just started going in with my Shine and Gem. I wish I had like actual braid gel, but this is what I had. And I'm just defining my part. I went in and like took any extra pieces that were still stuck in other braids if I felt like it needed to be fixed. But for the most part, I feel like I did a really good job at pre-parting. And I just went ahead and just braided up my entire head. If you don't have any experience with braiding, I don't really know how to explain how to braid. I feel like it's just really, you got to figure it out with your fingers. Like, you just have to start with those 3 sections and just start trying to braid your hair and just keep trying to practice until you actually get it. So I would just start off by just parting 3 sections in your hair with your fingers and just braiding back. And sometimes it's not going to look like a braid. It's going to look like a flat twist or something else. But if you keep practicing and you just keep looking at what braids are supposed to look like, you will eventually get it. And I didn't really use any braiding here until I got about to the middle of the braid. So I'm just clipping the braid with my duck clip. And then I'm going in and I'm just adding the hair piece by piece. Now, with adding the hair in, sometimes I mess this up because, you know, you're trying to go too fast, and you really have to be intentional. So I just always try to make sure that the pieces that I'm adding in, I put it on the outer 2 pieces, and then I can braid it in. That's like the easiest way for me to do it. I feel like that's the way everybody does it, but I don't know, because them professional braiders be doing all types of stuff that I can't do. But I just always try to make sure that the braid has the new braiding hair on the 2 outer pieces and not the middle. I feel like you could maybe do it in the middle, but I feel like it'll be more complicated. So you kind of just loop it onto the 2 outer pieces, make sure they're, you know, in your hand, and then you just kind of braid it in. And then I repeat that all around my head, and then I get to this. Now, this is me just finishing the last braid before I go in with any mousse or any extra stuff. And I'm actually very proud of myself for doing this. I know how to braid, but doing like accurate cornrows that look like somebody else did them is a true skill that I still have not mastered yet. I feel like I can still see where I can improve with my braiding, but I want to keep doing stuff like this so I can really like know how to do it. Ate that up. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed having you here. Please come back, and I'll see you soon.